Man, that's a tough fight, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, that he have in himself. And he's ready to go make history for his country. And he's going to do real well in that fight.
Boots a hell of a fighter.
What kind of advice would you give Boots if you were his corner man?
I'll just say, don't always be looking for the knockout boxing. So, he's a good boxer.
Most difficult guy to fight in the weight class because he's rangy. He can do so many things. He can fight inside. He can fight outside. He's a great body puncher. He's a very, very respected guy, and I think he's very mature for his age.
It's hard to really go against Boots because on that one with specifically Xander, I feel Xander's still young, Boots is a lot older and has.
Stop everything, because what is happening around Jaron Boots Ennis versus Xander Zayas is getting weirder by the minute. And the craziest part is that nobody can seem to agree on what happens next.
I just think, right now, it's a little bit too early for him.
To do it. So you have to respect Zayas. And the fact that he's willing to do it, he's a serious threat. Because he's not an idiot. Top rank aren't idiots. Like they think.
One side is acting like Boots Ennis is about to walk into the ring and remind everyone why he's considered one of boxing's most gifted fighters. The other side is looking at Xander Zayas and saying, hold on. Are we watching the birth of boxing's next superstar? And trust me, this is where things start getting interesting.
Or work on things that you don't like to do. Get comfortable doing things that you don't like to do and try things. Everybody come and spar and they do the same thing over and over and over, and then they wonder why they don't get better.
That's right.
Or they fight the same way. That works on this level, but when you get to the elite level, you're gonna have to pull everything out.
Because when this fight first started gaining traction, most people thought the conversation would be simple. Boots has the experience. Boots has the reputation. Boots has the highlight reels. Case closed, right? Not so fast. Suddenly, respected voices throughout boxing began throwing caution into the discussion.
And belt?
Yeah.
You can win belts in different divisions, right? But Boots was the Ring Magazine welterweight champion of the world. Right now, I don't love the way he got it because Stanionis hadn't fought in a million years. It's his only real significant welterweight win, really, of a guy who's in the top 10, and that guy was really inactive, but he dominated that fight, Mike.
Terence Crawford looked at the matchup and essentially suggested that while Zayas is incredibly talented, Ennis might simply be too much, too soon. And when a fighter like Crawford starts talking about experience gaps and development curves, fans pay attention. But then another twist arrived. Instead of people questioning Zayas for taking the fight, many actually started praising him. Think about that for a second.
Feeling great, man. About to be a two-time weight division unified champ. Man, I'm snapping my legacy, man. It's only up, man. I'm about to show the world I'm the best in the world. I'm gonna continue to keep showing the world I'm the best in the world. Like this boxing game mine, straight like that.
Now, the bout with Verge Ortiz looked like it was done, and of course, the legal stuff happened. That had nothing to do with you.
Right.
But you always said that you were going to give the fans the Virgil fight, and if that didn't happen, right back to the mission, and the mission was the belts.
Yeah.
So was that why Xander was your first option after Virgil?
Yeah, I mean, well, once we, me and the team sat down, we figured out like, everything falling through, it's not really gonna happen. I told them, I told my team, Metro the Zone, I'm like, yo, go get me Xander. Go get me Xander, or go get me somebody with the belts, and that's what they did, and I'm glad they did that.
In an era where fighters are often criticized for avoiding risk, here comes a young contender willingly stepping into one of the most dangerous challenges available. That changed the conversation immediately. What if this wasn't reckless confidence? What if it was genuine belief? And suddenly the narrative shifted from, can Zayas survive, to, does Zayas know something everyone else doesn't? Then Eddie Hearn entered the discussion and added even more fuel to the fire. According to Hearn, fans still haven't seen everything Boots Ennis can do. Let that sink in.
Strengths, what do you see Xander's strengths? What do you see weaknesses on both fighters? How do you see Xander versus Boots going?
If you want me to be honest, I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. Zayas he's been at 154 for a way longer time, and Boots is coming up. But of course, skills pay the bills. I feel like Boots could edge it off in a close fight, but who knows? Xander could pull off the upset, even though he's a champion. But I think Boots is the more skillful fighter in a way. but Xander is no pushover, and he's a champion for a reason, and it could go either way, you know. But I feel like Boots could slightly take the edge on that one.
We're talking about a fighter who already has a reputation for elite skills, and yet some insiders believe he's still hiding layers of his game. That's the kind of statement that makes boxing fans stop scrolling and start paying attention. Because if Boots truly has another level, what happens when he decides to reveal it against one of the biggest young talents in the sport? But wait, because the story refuses to stay that simple, Tim Bradley came flying into the conversation and practically slammed the brakes on the growing Ennis hype train.
The bag, you know, I feel like he's really good going forward or back where he could box. He's a southpaw. He could turn orthodox, whatever, you know. I feel like he could adapt. And Xander's a good boxer, you know. He could box and stay in the outside and just win, just, you know, using his jab and being really good on the outside. So it's kind of hard to see, you know, to pick a definite fighter to win, but I think Boots will for sure, you know, take.
While many observers were leaning toward Boots, Bradley looked at the matchup and called it something completely different. A true 50-50 fight, not 60-40, not 70-30, 50-50. And that's where things got chaotic. Bradley pointed toward Zayas' size, athleticism, boxing intelligence, and counterpunching ability. In other words, qualities that can make even elite fighters uncomfortable. Suddenly, what looked like a straightforward prediction battle transformed into something much messier, because now fans had a serious question to answer. Is Boots the superior fighter?
Versus Xander, how do you pick that out?
Man, you know, it's two insanely talented fighters. I myself am a Xander fan. I through and through since day one. I've known him since the amateurs. I'm gonna rock with Xander. He's my guy. I won't ever go against him, man. So Xander's my guy, and I'm gonna keep with him. But Boots is such a talented fighter. I'm a fan of his as well, and I'm excited for that. I just saw he posted today that he signed the contract.
Or is Zayas the more dangerous puzzle? And somehow that wasn't even the biggest twist. The biggest twist might actually be Boots himself. Reports and interviews suggest that after other opportunities didn't materialize, Ennis specifically wanted this challenge. Think about that. He didn't back away. He didn't hesitate. He reportedly targeted the fight. That tells you something. Champions don't usually volunteer for complicated problems unless they're convinced they already know the solution.
Xander is fighting Boots June 27th. Love to get your reaction on that. What do you think about the winner, you know, leading up to a Fundora fight, but just the fight itself as well?
So what's the first question? Who the best at 54?
I mean, yeah. I mean, who do you think is the best at 54? And then, yeah, what do you think about June 27th in New York City?
I think it's a three-way tie out of all the champions. You know why I say that?
Wow.
Who got the best win out of all them guys?
At 54, I would say Xander.
Xander got the best win?
Yeah.
And who would that win be?
I think Abbas beating Tellis was big, and yeah, and then him beating Abbas.
Yet, every time confidence around Ennis grows, another voice enters the conversation and creates more uncertainty. Leo Ruiz, for example, gave Boots a slight edge, but emphasized just how competitive this matchup could become. He highlighted Ennis's versatility, switch hitting ability, adaptability, pressure fighting, and ring IQ. That's a terrifying list. But then he turned around and praised Zayas for his discipline, jab, and technical fundamentals.
I think, you know, obviously him being 23, you wanting this fight, Boots, you know, only has one fight really at 54, fighting Lema. So I mean, this is a big guy, can box. What do you see in the fight?
It's gonna come down to IQ. It's gonna come down to conditioning. It's gonna come down to pressure. It's gonna come down to what Xander is willing to go through. Xander is the champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boots is hungry because he want that respect and he want those titles. Xander got to figure out how far he willing to go. I think he's willing to go there because what he went through with Abbas was a good tangle up. You know what I mean? That was a good little mix. But this time you won't be fighting Abbas. But at the same time,
suddenly both sides sounded dangerous. Suddenly both sides sounded capable of winning. And that's when boxing fans started realizing this isn't just a fight. It's a test, a giant test. maybe the biggest test either man has faced. Then came another fascinating angle. Richard Torres Jr., who has a friendship with Zayas, backed his longtime friend while still acknowledging the reality of what Ennis brings to the table.
Boots. Right now, it looks like Xander and Boots are going to fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's gonna be a good fight, man. The division looking good right now, you know, and I just want to see all the fighters fight each other, man. The best need to fight the best. That's what's gonna bring them somebody great. You know what I'm saying? You can have a bunch of wins with no great win. You're just a good fighter, but you want to be great. You need to beat another great fighter. So they got the opportunity, and I hope they do it.
What are your thoughts on, if you know about it, the Virgil situation? Virgil Ortiz, him and Golden Boy have kind of like a lawsuit going on against one another. Well, Virgil put the lawsuit out for Golden Boy. Now he's sitting on the sideline waiting for arbitration. Do you think it was right of Xander to step in and say, you know what, I'll take on Boots since you're going to be sidelined for a bit?
I had nothing. I don't know about it. You know, tell you the truth. You just telling me new. But it's good that he stepped in and we can get him.
That balance says everything. Even supporters of Zayas understand the mountain standing in front of him, yet they're still picking him. Why? What are they seeing? Is there something about Zayas that statistics and resumes don't fully capture? Because every time somebody says Ennis is too experienced, someone else points towards Zayas' composure. Every time somebody praises Boots' explosiveness, somebody else points towards Zayas' intelligence. It's like the boxing world is trapped in an endless argument with itself.
Zayas, Jaron Ennis. What you think?
Boots by stop in 7th, 8th round.
That was fast, eh?
I got Boots. I've been saying it.
What do you see?
First 2 rounds, Xander is going to get because Boots going to adjust. And I think after that, Boots just takes over. I think Boots just he's too athletic. The way he puts his punches together, where they come from, he's not going to see it.
What does Xander have to do to be successful?
I can't really, I don't see nothing he can do. To tell you the truth, except he might have some private power, probably catch Boots with something. Surprisingly, probably punch what he punches. He just got to throw. But if he just stands there and thinks he's going to move and try to be athletic with him, Boots got him all the way.
Now, do you see it being a systematic breakdown or one shot's going to get him?
And then things got even more dramatic when veterans started talking about the deeper layers of the matchup. Conditioning, mental toughness, adaptability, composure under pressure. Winky Wright and Greg Hackett described the fight as one of the best matchups available at 154 pounds. And that statement carries serious weight. They're not talking about social media hype. They're talking about real boxing qualities. The kind that only reveal themselves when everything gets difficult. The kind that separate contenders from champions. And if you think that's dramatic, wait until you hear one of the boldest predictions anyone has made.
Ennis, you crazy. You crazy if you think this fight gonna be a slam dunk for him. You know, who was the last technical guy that Boots fought, man? Karen? Come on, man. He getting in there with a young gun, man, just as hungry and energetic as he is. You understand that? Bigger than he is. Probably just as strong as he is. High boxing IQ, just as well as he does. You know, got skills, good counterpuncher, good legs, good movement. Can throws and bunches, got a left hook. Which is the punch that Boots get hit with most. You know, like Boots.
Eric Spring looked at the matchup and forecast a scenario where Zayas might actually enjoy success early before Ennis slowly adjusts and takes over later in the fight. That's a fascinating possibility. Imagine the tension. Imagine Zayas banking rounds. Imagine fans starting to believe the upset is happening. Then imagine Boots making adjustments round after round until the entire momentum of the fight changes. That's the kind of storyline boxing fans dream about. But here's the part that nobody can stop debating. What if the adjustment never comes? What if Zayas' strategy is smarter than expected? Coach Bredman suggested the fight could be more tactical than many fans anticipate. That's important, because a lot of people are imagining fireworks, a lot of people are imagining chaos. But what if we get a chess match instead?
The most. You know, this ain't gonna be no damn slam dunk. This probably might be like a half court shot. Yeah, for both these dudes, man. You know, like, Xander like guys that come forward. And you already know Boots is going to be aggressive. Boxing coming forward. You know, his game, he gets too impatient sometimes. Because he's constantly on the hunt looking for a knockout and looking to counter. You know? We know Boots like to be first. We know he likes to bring the action and bring the pain. You know, he needs to learn discipline. That's it. And Xander's that guy that can make him learn that real fast, because Xander's one of those dudes that's gonna tax your mistakes. That's what he does. He tax these guys that come forward, he tax their mistakes. Now he's in there with a quick guy.
What if the biggest surprise isn't aggression? What if the biggest surprise is patience? Suddenly the fight starts looking completely different. Suddenly every jab matters, every feint matters, every mistake matters. And now we arrive at the question hanging over the entire boxing world. Are we watching the coronation of Boots Ennis at 154 pounds? Or are we witnessing the moment Xander Zayas shocks everyone and announces himself as a true elite fighter? Because no matter which side you're on, there's one fact nobody can deny. This fight has forced some of boxing's smartest minds into disagreement. Crawford sees danger, Hearn sees greatness, Bradley sees a coin flip, Kellerman sees Ennis's experience taking over.
I'm both slightly above Xander, but Xander has 2 belts. So you can't go wrong with 2 belts, because Ortiz and Boots don't have belts at 54. I think that Boots and Virgil Ortiz styles clash better. That would have been like a barn burner, a war, like high contact war. I think that Xander is going to try to box and take some of the violence out of the fight. So I think it's a different kind of fight. You know what I mean? To be honest, I think it's
Others see Zayas as the hungry young challenger with nothing to lose and everything to gain. And maybe that's the final twist. Maybe the real story isn't who wins. Maybe the real story is that both fighters have already changed how they're viewed before the opening bell even rings. Boots is being challenged in ways he hasn't been challenged before. Zayas is being respected in ways many young fighters never are. And somewhere between those two realities lies the answer everyone's searching for. So now the question comes to you. When the lights get bright, when the pressure hits, and when all the predictions suddenly stop mattering, will this night become the next chapter in the Boots Ennis legacy? Or the moment Xander Zayas changes the entire future of the division?